Hey guys, I'm gonna show you how I meal prep today. I'm gonna film it like this so you can see what my actual process looks like. I have sort of a vague idea of what I wanna make, but I usually just improvise, and I always start out by prepping a lot of onions and garlic because I put these in pretty much everything for flavor. Just kidding, I'm gonna start out by sharpening my knife. I'm just chopping them coarsely. And you can use a food processor if you would prefer, but I hate cleaning my food processor. I need to walk away so that my eyes stop burning for a second. I'll be right back. Now we're gonna do some garlic. I can't stop crying. If you know me at all, you know I don't f around. I'm gonna use the whole head of garlic. Hacha! Hacha! I need to banish these onions. Just peeled all my garlic, and if you're as passionate about garlic as I am, get you one of these garlic press. It's so much faster than mincing garlic by hand, and plus, then your hands don't smell like garlic afterwards. But your soul still will. Garlic, done. Every single time I meal prep, I like to make a huge batch of soup or stew or chili in the crock pot. You can make it on the stove as well, but this just is easy because you can walk away from it and it will do the right thing. So we're gonna use this to make a chickpea curry dish, and I have 4 cans here of rinsed and drained, no salt added chickpeas. Usually I like to cook my chickpeas from dry, but I've been experimenting a lot with aquafaba lately, so I wanted the liquid from the cans. So, gonna throw these in, then maybe like a third of these onions, and a third of this garlic. I always like to put jalapenos in my curries. These ones are a little shriveled because they've been sitting in my fridge for so long, but we're gonna use them anyway. I get a lot of comments saying that I use too many jalapenos. All of the heat from the jalapeno is in the seeds and in these white ribs, so if you cut them out, the dish is really, really not spicy, I promise you. I'm gonna add half of the jalapenos to this curry, and I'm gonna use the rest in a quinoa dish. I also have some orange pepper, so I'm gonna dice this up as well and throw some of that in, just for fun, for some color. I just put half the red peppers in there, and now I'm gonna put in a whole crap ton of spices, okay? Here we go. You can just use a pre-blended curry powder, lots of cumin, turmeric, or turmeric as some say, ground coriander, paprika. Oh, I don't have time for the sifter top business. Yeah. Then I always like to add some of these warming spices, so some cloves, some cinnamon, and some nutmeg. Kind of put a lot of cinnamon there. Whoops. Nutmeg, and I usually put fresh ginger, but I'm out, so I'm gonna yeah. And the last thing that I'm gonna add into this stew is a can of unsalted crushed plum tomatoes. Give it a stir, and then, you know how it is, set it and forget it. Okay, so that's one dish in the bag. Now we're gonna move on to a rice dish. Basically non-fried fried rice. So everything that you would traditionally put into fried rice, I'm just gonna throw into my rice cooker and let it do the work for me. I'm going to take the white parts, the really pungent bits, put them in the rice cooker. And then the green parts, these are a little bit milder. I'm gonna throw these in at the very last minute. Green vegetables will turn really bright green when they're perfectly cooked, and then if you overcook them, they start to turn brown. So these I'm just gonna toss in at the end. I decided to mix it up this week and try out these carrots of many colors. I'm not actually sure if they taste different than regular carrots. No, they taste the same, and they just cost more. That's cool, I'm not mad. They look really cool though. This one's yellow on the inside. Was I supposed to wash these? Wash before use. Whoops! Carrots go in. Let's save a little bit for our next dish. Naturally sweet peas go in. Yes. Jasmine rice. Oop. I get my rice at Costco. I know I should be eating brown rice, but I just like white rice better, and sometimes you need to follow your heart. Water. You can use veggie broth if you want some extra flav. Oh, I want to add some ginger to this as well. Again, set it and forget it. Okay, now we're gonna make a quinoa dish, and even though I don't follow starch solution anymore, you'll probably notice that I'm big on my starches. So I have some organic white quinoa. You wanna rinse your quinoa really well, otherwise it can get a little bit gummy. To this, I'm gonna add the rest of those onions that we prepped earlier. It's kind of a lot of onion, even for me, but it's gonna be okay. Oh, I forgot to add garlic to my rice, so I'm gonna add in half of this garlic to the quinoa. I'm gonna throw the rest of this into the rice really quick. And I'm also gonna add in the rest of our jalapenos, my orange pepper, and some of those carrots into here. Quinoa I always like to cook with vegetable broth, and I just use a 1-to-2 ratio. Give it a stir. You can use a rice cooker for quinoa, but since ours is occupied, I'm just gonna bring it to a boil over like medium-high. As soon as it starts boiling, I'm gonna lower the heat and I'm gonna let it simmer for like 15 to 20 minutes until it's nice and tender. Now we're gonna prep some tofu. I have 2 blocks of organic extra firm tofu. I'm gonna cut the tofu into cubes this time, and I'm just gonna use the same method that I always do. Brown my tofu, no oil, in a non-stick skillet. Then I turn the heat way, way down. Throw on whatever sauce I'm liking at the moment. Let it caramelize. Another question I commonly receive is, isn't tofu bad for your hormones? Doesn't it have too much estrogen in it? Isn't it gonna give me boobs if I'm a dude? Talking about the science is not really my forte, so I will link a video down below on the topic for anyone who's curious. All I have to say on the matter is, if soy gives you boobs, where are mine? I would love some extra boobs. I mean, I would love more boob, not an extra boob, like not a third boob. So anyone freaking out about that, y'all just need to calm your titties. Looking nice and brown. I'm gonna lower the heat all the way down, and then I have a fierce loyalty to teriyaki sauce, so we're gonna use this today. I just bought myself some new Tupperware, so I'm pretty pumped about that. You could stop at this point and you'd have already a couple pretty solid starch-based options. However, I like to eat a lot of salads, raw vegetables, especially for lunch. So I'm gonna prep some like fresh salad ingredients. I have really been enjoying adding pickled vegetables to my salads. This is some daikon radish. I'm gonna spiralize this. Love daikon radish. It has a really nice peppery flavor, very refreshing texture. By the way, if you ever want to noodle something and you don't want to buy a spiralizer, you can pick up one of these really cheap julienne peelers at like Marshall's, Home Goods. What we do with the center. Let's pickle some of these carrots as well. Stuff my mason jar. I'm using organic apple cider with the mother. I got this huge container from Costco. It was really cheap. Since our rice just finished cooking, I'm going to add in our green onions. Give them a quick toss in. Gonna check on our quinoa. It's got a couple more minutes left, I think. The very last thing I'm gonna do is prep some romaine lettuce and some zucchini noodles, and I use them both as a base for my salads, and I eat a lot of them. So every time I have a romaine salad, I use a whole head of romaine. You don't have to peel the zucchini, but I prefer to. And these you can store in an airtight container for a couple days and they won't go bad. So our zoodles are now done. I'm now going to chop up our romaine. I'm gonna give it a really thorough rinse, pat it dry, and put it in an airtight container. I like to just buy the heads of romaine and prep it myself because I feel like the pre-cut salads can be like pretty expensive, like more than they should cost. The final thing I'm gonna do is make a really quick salad dressing. So I have some tahini here, and there's just a couple tablespoons left. So I'm gonna mix it straight into this jar. Add some fresh lemon juice, water, just to thin it out. I'm gonna add some of this 21 spice blend, and my favorite, some dill. I think I'm also gonna add some nutritional yeast. Rather than adding salt into my dressing, I prefer to just put some over top of the salad itself. Shake it up, baby, shake it up, baby. So let's recap. We have our glazed tofu, our savory quinoa, and I actually made way too much of this, so I'm gonna freeze the rest for next week. Our non-fried fried rice, lots of fresh prepped romaine, zucchini noodles, and some soon-to-be pickled veggies to add to our salads. Creamy tahini dressing. We also have our chickpea curry, still cooking in the slow cooker. And then I always have on hand some dark leafy greens, either spinach or baby kale, that I can steam or eat raw. And I have some frozen green beans and some organic frozen broccoli. I always like to have a good amount of frozen veggies on hand just because they are cheap, they cut down on your prep time, and you can use them at your own pace, so you're gonna reduce the amount of like food waste you might have. I'm gonna insert some clips here so you can see some of the meals that I make throughout the week, combining these things with other ingredients from my pantry and my fridge. That is it for this video. I hope that this was helpful. Maybe it gives you some ideas for your own meal prep. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.